So you're about to pay the cost of a second-hand car for fertility treatments, so you obviously want to have your body in tip-top shape. An IVF diet is clearly an important consideration, but what is it? And how does it help? Well, stay tuned and I'll explain. If you're going to see a fertility specialist for the first time, you might be surprised to learn that you may not be undertaking in vitro fertilization, known as IVF, straight away. Depending upon what's causing your fertility challenges, your fertility specialist may recommend an option such as ovulation induction, assisted insemination, known as an IUI, or intracytoplasmic sperm injection, known as an ICSI, first. In terms of diet, the first step is to prepare your diet as you would for any pregnancy. This means getting a blood test to check your nutritional markers, optimizing your weight, starting the correct nutritional supplements, and managing any dietary conditions that you might have, like celiac disease or diabetes. Next, we need to optimize your diet for each of the 4 key factors that we need to conceive. Any guesses what these are? Well, let me tell you. We need healthy eggs, a regular menstrual cycle, a receptive uterus, and of course, healthy sperm. How many did you get right? Okay, let's have a look at how we can improve each of these 4 ingredients with the right diet. As I said, the first ingredient we need for our baby making recipe are healthy eggs. Although your fertility specialist can help identify which of your eggs are the healthiest, our aim is to help make them all as healthy as possible. Our diet has a big impact on our egg health, and it takes around 3 months for our eggs to mature. So try to be following your IVF diet for at least 3 months before egg collection. Although there's a lot that we can do to improve egg health, my favourite tips for improving egg health are to focus on getting enough omega-3, zinc and antioxidants. To meet your omega-3 requirements, include 2 to 3 serves of fish in your diet each week. Maybe some salmon patties, sardines on toast, or a fish pie, for example. One of the best sources of zinc is red meat. Now, you don't need a lot. Again, 3 serves a week should be ample. But if you're not eating red meat 3 times a week, then you may need to look at some other ways of ensuring that you're getting enough zinc. Dried beans or legumes are another great source that you can consider. So I recommend aiming to eat these at least twice a week as well. In terms of antioxidants, veggies are the best source. And you may have heard the saying, eat the rainbow. That means that it's best to have a colourful plate full of different vegetables. Not only does this look pretty, but different colours are often representative of different types of antioxidants. In the months leading up to your egg collection, I'd really love you to make a last-ditch concerted effort to try to get in your 5 serves of veg each day. Now, to do this, I recommend eating veggies at least 3 times a day. So maybe you might have some sautéed mushrooms and spinach at brekkie, a punnet of cherry tomatoes as a lunch snack, and have some salad with lunch, for example. Are you up for the challenge? I know that you can do this. Okay, our second ingredient was a regular menstrual cycle to result in regular ovulation. Now, depending upon the type of fertility treatments that you're having, this may or may not be important. Often fertility specialists will give you medications to help you ovulate. But if they're not, and your cycle is out of whack, then one of the best tricks is to optimize your levels of body fat. Gaining weight, if you're underweight, or losing it, if you're overweight, can impact your insulin hormones, which then has an impact on your other fertility hormones. Now, at this point, you're probably telling yourself one of 2 things. The first is, I have so much weight to gain / lose, I'm never going to be able to achieve this. And the second is, I'm going to be using the drugs, so it doesn't apply to me. Am I right? You'll have to let me know in the chat box. If I am right, then just listen up a minute. If you said to yourself that it's too big a goal and you don't even want to think about it, let me point out that you don't have to change your weight by 20 kilograms. Often just a few kilograms of weight change can make all of the difference to your ability to ovulate. And if you're thinking, this doesn't apply to me, I'm just going to use the hormones, then hang on there, Nellie. How do you know that you're going to harvest enough eggs? Even with the help of hormones, a few kilograms weight change can sometimes have a very big impact on the number of eggs collected. Which brings me to our third key ingredient, a receptive uterus. Now I know this sounds very clinical, doesn't it? Let's rephrase. We want a home that your embryo wants to live in. What type of home would you want to start your life in? Or maybe should I say, what type of home did you start your life in? Well, you want a nice, thick uterine lining where you can go to be safe and well nourished. Now, research suggests that one trick for improving your uterine lining is to replace processed sugary carbs with low GI, micronutrient-rich whole grains. So swap your rice crackers for whole grain crackers, sugary cereal for porridge, and your white rice to brown rice. Lastly, none of this is going to work if we don't have healthy sperm. I'd recommend that you check out my YouTube clip on fertility tips for our partners for more details. But let me just say that one fertility specialist remarked to me, Melanie, when I looked at Dean's sperm under the microscope, there weren't very many in good condition. But once you'd helped him change his diet, they looked like they belonged to someone else. They looked so fertile. So make sure that you encourage your partner to eat well too. Now, I have a question for you. I know that it can be a little bit overwhelming to think about making so many dietary changes all at once. So let me ask you, which one dietary change are you going to start with today? Now, research tells us that we're more likely to achieve change when we declare our actions publicly. You never see anyone who doesn't lose any weight on the Biggest Loser household, do you? Of course not. You've got the best incentive ever when the world knows. So I want you to choose one dietary strategy that you're going to make and declare it in the chat box below so that I can cheer you on and everyone else can too. And to make all this easier for you, I'd also just love you to download my free meal plan. All you need to do is go to melaniemcgrice.com/fertility. Okay guys, have a great and healthy week, and I look forward to catching up with you next week on Nourish. So there is a lot. Melanie. Okay, take 3. But if they're not, then that means that it's the best. That means that it's the best, that it's best. But if they're not, then, but if they're not, if you said to yourself that it's not, often just a few kilograms of weight can change, yeah, probably.